great morning, my lovelies. Are you guys ready?
Yes!
Are you sure?
Yes!
Okay, so we're ready to learn today. Today we're going to be working on Module 4, Lesson 21 of 5th grade math. So yesterday what we worked on, we were working on some fractions and learning a couple of different things. Today we're going to take it into a new direction. So we've already done our math fluency earlier this morning from morning message. So we're going to skip over that. Let's go with our tour guide, Jabril. Jabril, in your packets that everybody has, that we have every single day. So in your packets, Jabril, you are our tour guide for today. Jabril, go ahead and read off what our agenda is for today.
Agenda. Get your mind right, math fluency, vocabulary, application problem, idea development, guided learning, self-direct learning, distribution. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so our agenda items are as follows. Get your mind right. So let's go ahead and check that off. Then the next one is math fluency. Let's check that off. We've already done that. Vocabulary, we're going to get to that a little bit later. Your application problem, we're going to skip over that for today, and we're going to do that in our morning message tomorrow. And idea development, we're going to get to that. And then guided learning, self-directed learning, distribution, that's when I give you your homework. And then the final one is let's talk about it. That's when we debrief and talk about what we learned today. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So, our next person is our excursion organizer. Our excursion organizer is Denisha Gardner. Denisha, let's go on and tell us where we're going today. So she reads the objective, as we always do. So go ahead and read that objective for us.
I can explain the size of the product and relate fractions and decimal equivalents to multiply a fraction to 1.
Okay. So I can explain the size of the product and relate fraction and decimal equivalents to multiplying a fraction to 1. So who can tell me, what do we usually do when we see our objective on the board? Desire.
We highlight or we underline.
We highlight or we underline. So pull out those highlighters, pull out your pencils, and let's get to underlining our information. And once we're done, Brian's doing the right thing. She's showing us a pyramid. It's letting us know that she's ready to go. Okay, so all of my friends are ready to go. So let's start off with who's going to give me one word that they find up here that's so important that we need to know. Destiny.
Decimal.
Decimal. Okay, that's a good one. Kamaya. Product. That's another good one. Jeremiah. Equivalence. That's a really great one. Jarrell. Fraction to 1. Good job. We're going to include all of that together. Dante. Explain. Good job. Ryan. We already got equivalence. Pick another one. Multiplying. Good job. And Morgan. Relate. And one last one. Anthony. Fraction. Good job. So remember, I told you at the beginning of Module 4 that there are 3 strategies that we're working with this quarter. We're working with during this module. So what are those 3 strategies, Desire?
Area model, take diagram, and line plot.
So the 3 strategies that we're going to have to do this module is line plots, area models, and take diagrams. So those are the 3 strategies that we're going to use the most. Not that we're not going to go in our toolboxes and use other things, but those are the ones we're going to use the most in order to be able to solve all of our problems in Module 4. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions at this point?
No.
Okay. So let me see if Ms. Owens underlined the same things that you did. I underlined explain. I underlined product, relate fraction, decimal equivalents, to multiplying a fraction. I didn't put to 1, but those are the important things that I thought. So, we all got the same ideas, right?
Yes.
So now what do we do after we've done our objective? Ryan? We write our goals for the day. So what I'd like for you to do is do what you usually do, and let's write those goals that based upon our objective on what we're going to need to get out of this lesson today in order for us to be successful. Because you know our objective always shows us the way that we're going to need the tools and the things that we're going to need to do in order to be successful in our work for the day. So go ahead and write out those goals of what you want to achieve in order for you to achieve success. Remember, these are your own personal learning goals. This is you being accountable for your own learning. It's not what Ms. Owens wants you to learn. It's not what the district wants you to learn. What things did you pick up out of the objective that are so important that we need to get to? Once you're done, show me a pyramid. It lets me know you're ready to move on. Okay. So as I always do in math goal setting, I pick out 3 friends that I want to hear from for the day. And so, who are those friends going to be? Let's see. Is it going to be Kamaya? Is it going to be Jabril? Is it going to be Denaya? Is it going to be Deja? Is it going to be Denisha? Is it going to be Ryan? Is it going to be Destiny? Who is it going to be today? Let's see. Deja Bias.
My goal for today is to know how to explain the size of a product and be able to relate fractions to decimal equivalents.
Okay, so that's your goal for today? All right. Let's see if we can get you there. Let's see who my second friend's going to be. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Anthony? Is it going to be Maya? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Jeremiah? Who's it going to be? It's Dante Felder.
My goal for today is to relate fractions and decimal equivalents to multiplying a fraction by 1.
Okay. I think we can do that. And our last friend today is going to be Tamaya, it's going to be Gerald, it's going to be Tamaya, it's going to be Morgan. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be? Who's going to be? It's going to be Desire.
My goal for today is to learn how to relate fractions. Also to try my best on something I don't do best on.
Okay. We can do that. So, based upon their goals today, which we always tie our goals for the day back to our objective. Our objective is we got to explain the size of the product. And what does product mean? Jabril. It's the answer. And it's the answer using what, Deja? Multiplication. Good job. And then we're going to relate that to a fraction and decimal equivalents. Deja, can you give us an example of decimal equivalents with a fraction?
Like, say you had 0.25, the fraction that would be equal to 0.25 would be 1/4.
1/4. Good job. So you can see that she gave it to you in decimal form, and she also gave it to you in fraction form. Now we're multiplying a fraction to 1. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where we're going to learn something kind of new today. So are we ready?
Yes.
Let's get started. So our vocabulary for today is the factor is the word factor. Factor is the numbers that we multiply together to get another number. Who can give me an example of factors? Jabril.
Say 2 times 2.
What are the factors? What is 2 times 2 equal?
2 times 2 is 4.
Okay.
And so the factor is 2 and 2 because those are the numbers that you are multiplying to get your sum.
Good job to get your answer, your product. Okay. So, time to go, Journey Packet. Let's go. Okay, once we're ready, let's get our pyramids going. Remember, if we have a friend missing, that we have to do double duty. Okay, so today our objective is to explain the size of the product, relate a fraction and decimal equivalent to multiplying a fraction by 1. So Ms. Owens is going to model for you what it looks like and what we're supposed to do today. Remember, as always, we always utilize our 4 little emojis to decide how much we know about a topic. So I use the $sign to say, I bet my money that I'm right. If I think I'm somewhat right and I'm not all that 100% sure, I think that I got it, I give myself a smiley face. If I'm not too sure, I give myself a question mark, meaning I have to ask Ms. Owens for some assistance. And if I think that I got it wrong, I just flat out don't know what I'm doing, then I give myself a frown face. Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how to do a couple of problems. So pull out your white sheets, your long white sheets of paper. So remember, in our journey packet time, everybody has a role to play. One person's an inspector, one person's a scribe, one person's a navigator, and one person's a communicator. So our inspectors, as always, they're going to inspect what's going on. They're going to tell us, is the problem correct? The scribe is the person that's doing the writing. The navigator is the person that's running the whole show. They're basically saying, this is how we need to solve this problem. And the communicator gets up and shows us how we communicate. The communicator comes up and tells us basically how to solve, communicate what we did in the problem. No. Okay. All right. So with that being stated, let's go. So we're going to do, remember I said today, our objective was to do a problem to the factor of 1. What is 2 over 2 equal, everybody?
1 whole.
What is 4 over 4 equal?
1 whole.
What is 9 over 9 equal?
1 whole.
10 over 10?
1 whole.
Good job. So, if we are doing a factor of 2 over 2 of 3 3 over 4. What does that word of mean? What other thing can we put in place to talk about of? Deja.
You put a multiplication sign?
We can put a multiplication sign. Because 2 over 2 of 3 over 4 is the same as us writing. So let's put on our sheets. 2 over 2 of 3 over 4 is the same as 2 over 2 times 3 over 4. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. So then we simply write 2 times 3 over 2 times 4, which is equal to
6 over 8.
6 over 8. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. So if we were drawing this, because remember I said we're going to do tape diagrams, line plots, and area models. We're going to draw a picture. So let's draw our picture out. And today we're going to use an area model. So when I partition this, I'm going to partition this by our first number, which is 3/4. And then is everybody with me?
Yes.
Once you're done, show me a pyramid. The next thing we do is we break this in half because we're breaking it by 2. So here's our 2 over 2. And here's our 3 over 4. And if you did it correctly, you would see that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for your numerator, because that's the amount of pieces we're breaking up, to our total, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 over 8. So are we correct?
Yes.
Good job. So this is how you know that you did your problem correctly. Does Ms. Owens need to do another one?
Yes.
You have a question?
Yeah. Also for like the ones that we started over, 2 over 2 of 3 over 4. So could we use that like as the multiplication thing? So like 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 4 8, like to find our denominator a little bit more easier.
No. You're trying to find the least common multiple. That you wouldn't need to utilize that in this case because we're doing straight multiplication. But that's a good question. Okay. So do you need me to do another one, or do you think that you all can work in your teams and do the next one? Are you sure? Okay. We're gonna do one. I'm gonna do one more. Okay. So now we have 1 over 5 times 2 over 2. Okay, so this one doesn't have oven in it. It's already kind of straightforward. So I'm going to start out by drawing my area model. And I'm going to draw it in fifths. And remember, I only make 4 lines because you make 1 line less than the amount of spaces that you need. So that's going to give you your fifth. So here's our 1/5. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
No.
Okay. So now, I'm just going to break it in half because that's our denominator. So, what is our answer going to be?
2 tenths.
2 tenths. And the way that you can do that is that you can either do it out like this.
5 times 2.
Or you can just simply go 1 times 2, 2, 5 times 2, 10. And then here's our picture. Because remember, that's one of the strategies that we need to use. And then we can see that we have 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there we go. So I want you all to think about that word equivalence. Remember, we're doing equivalence. So 2 tenths is what? 2 tenths is the equivalence of what number?
1/5.
Good job. Good job, Jabril. What is 3/4 the equivalence of? Deja. 6/8. Good job. Okay. So, but does that mean that we've been successful? Because there's another piece to that objective. We need to be able to do the fraction to the decimal equivalence. Have we gotten to the decimal equivalence yet?
No.
No. Okay, so now what we're going to do with the 1/4, our 1/4 is that we're going to do that to the decimal equivalence. So remember, so I want you all to look in your sheets. So pull out your packet, your traveling packet. And in your traveling packet it says, get your mind right, convert fractions to decimals. If I can have Tamaya read step 1 for us.
Find a number you can multiply by the bottom of the fraction to make 10 or 100 or 1,000 or any one followed by zeros.
Okay, so find a number you can multiply by the bottom of the fraction to make it 10, 100, or 1,000, or any one followed by zeros. So this is like a mini lesson within a lesson, so it's scaffolding. Miss Owens is scaffolding for you so that you all can be able to solve these problems more easily. So number 2, read that, Kamaya.
Multiply both top and bottom by that number.
Okay, so you're going to multiply both. Whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do to the top. And number 3, Ryan.
Then write down just the top number. Put in the decimal point in the correct spot. 1 space from the right hand side for every 0 in the bottom number.
Okay, so these are the 3 steps that we're going to utilize in order for us to achieve our success. So one of the things that you have to do is I'm going to put 1/4 here. So does 1/4, what number, we're going to try and get 1/4 to some number that is going to utilize step 1. Step 1 says find a number you can multiply by the bottom of the fraction to make it 100, 1,000, or any one followed by zeros. So what number times 4 is going to equal 100, Jabril?
25.
25. So then step 2 says multiply both the top and the bottom by that number. So I'm going to say 1 times 25 here and 4 times 25 here. So 1 times 25 is what?
25.
25. Good job. 4 times 25 is what?
100.
Good job. So 25 hundredths is equivalent to 1/4. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So does everybody see how simple that is? You just simply have to find a number that goes to one of our base 10 numbers. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, all the way up to millions. You have a question?
Yes. Does it matter? Does it matter?
Hold on, we're not talking. Go ahead.
Does it matter which ones are you doing? Like if you had a problem, could you do it like the one that goes up to 10, 100, or 1,000?
It depends. It depends on what your denominator is. So like if I had 2, I could go up to 10. But since this is a 4, 4 doesn't go into 10 easily, does it? No, it goes into 100. You have to try and get your number to a base 10 number. Everybody understand that? That goes back to our basic place value understanding. Okay. So now that we've done that, now we have to give our decimal equivalent. So anything over 100, you look at that top number, this becomes your decimal. So that 25 over 100 is equal to 0.25. So if I had 67 over 100, what's my decimal going to be?
0.67.
Good job. If I have 99 over 100,
0.99.
good job. If I had 2 over 100,
0.02.
say that again.
0.02.
Good job. Okay. So now that we've done this, can you guys work on your own now?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Let's get at our teamwork. Remember that we're utilizing these skills here. I'm about to put up your problem. Your problem is 1/8. You're gonna put that. What I want you to do is I just want you to change it into a decimal at this point. I don't want you to go to a fraction yet.
Alright, so let's go. What we can do is
Okay. So come on, let's get started. Okay. So I will start as 1/8. And so how many times? Like exactly. So we know that it can, right? So
how do we make it into a box here? I mean, that's
8 times something is equal to 1 over 8. 1 over 8.
8 is not close to 100. So that is close to 100.
It is close to 100. It's 96. 8 times 12. 96.
So remember that you're utilizing the strategy of a fraction to 1. So think of a number over a number that you can utilize to be able to get that fraction to a 1.
So we have to do division or we have to do multiplication?
Well, since you did that, I think you gotta use multiplication, but it doesn't go to 100.
How can it go to? Unless you switched it.
Because you switched it.
Sorry.
Alright, so we have to do. Let's try to do the. No. Let's do the multiplication.
Okay, so we're doing division to help us with. Keep doing.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should use more.
Wait, it's 8, 16.
Remember, it has to have a base 10, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000,
And it's
all the way up. Try to go to the one that you can get to the least to.
We can try to do 1,000.
How? 8 times 8 is 1,000.
8 times 1,000 is 8,000.
Well, a thousand times 20. 1,000 decimal 8,000.
Hold on, I'm about to do that. So 8, 1,000,
Quick question. Everybody put your eyes on me. What does that line mean in between the 1 and the 8? Morgan? It's a division symbol. So you're not only utilizing multiplication, you're also utilizing division. Remember that.
And then put a times at the end, which equals
2,500.
but which means
Also eat.
which also
Think
equals
about what
0.
you're saying right now.
Yes.
And figure out how you're applying it.
Yeah, so you put like a
That'll be 125 multiplication sign right there.
One team has got it.
Yeah.
One
125
team
right
is
there.
getting there.
125 right there. Because whatever you measure, whatever you do with your denominator, you do with your numerator. So now go over 125.
Look at your problem again.
And for the decimal, you would do 1.125.
We got the 1,000. We just don't know how to put it. So
We have to turn it into a decimal.
yeah.
I don't know.
You're almost there. Keep going.
Almost there. Okay, so we got this decimal, which is equal to, if it's 10, 100,000. This will be equal to 0.1.
Okay, one team's ready to go.
To 0.125.
You're gonna do your downward walk.
No.
One team's ready to go. You have exactly 30 seconds left.
I'm talking about the big
30 seconds left. I want to see it in a fraction as well as in the decimal point. And remember, you can always have an improper fraction.
Put 100. What's the one? 125. Put 125 over 1,000.
Why would we put 125 over 1,000?
Because we times 100.
125 times
8. Alright, but we have to probably turn to a decimal point. Now we
I don't know how to turn it into a decimal.
So that's 1, 2, 3. It will be 1.25
Oh yeah.
because it's all 3 zeros.
Wait, what?
I'm shocked.
We got it. No, start with that first.
There's one here. There's two teams that are kind of spot on.
Which is
Yeah.
Let's go!
Good job. Okay. Time is up in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So now you're going to walk around from team to team. Switch. You're going to put a dollar sign if they're correct, a smiley face if you think they're somewhat correct, a question mark, or a frown if they're wrong. All you're supposed to do is review what they did. You're not supposed to correct their work.
Why? They just said that.
Time to switch. Out to the next team.
We use the exact same strategy.
Okay. Switch.
They wrote something.
Look at that. Navigate form. No, just put frowny face. They got the answer. They got the answer wrong. If they got the answer wrong in total, then they're wrong.
Question mark because they got this right, but they didn't get this right.
Because they had a decimal.
Why would they
Look, Jabril, this simple thing, look, this is what we're saying. They have that 8, whatever that. They have a high at 125. That is
Okay. Let's switch. You should now be back at your own team.
right, but then they should put that.
You can't put
Things.
Who put this?
But then she did this, so you can't.
How do you even got a question mark?
Cause I told Miss almost said that this was right.
Okay. So stop talking. Everybody have a seat in 5, 4, 3, 2, and up. So if I can have team 2 and team 4 come up, please. I want just your inspector to hold your board and your communicator. Actually, your whole team can come up. So team 2 over here and team 4 over here. Okay. I'm going to start with team 4 first. Tell us how you got your answer.
So first we started off with 1/8, and so we actually worked this out on scrap paper. So we noticed that the line right there was division, and so we went on our scrap paper and we went into our long division stuff, and then we got our answer by that, and then we got 125, and then we got 125, and 125 times 1 is 125, and 125 times that is 1,000, and to put it
125 times 8.
yeah, and 125 over 1,000 in our in the decimal it equals 0.125.
Good job. Okay, so team 2, tell us about your process and what you all did in order to get the answer correct.
First, we saw that 8 couldn't go into 10, or it was going to go over 10. It couldn't go into 10, it couldn't go into 100, but it could go into 1,000. What you had to do, first we had did 1,000 divided by 8. So 8 cannot go into 1, so we added a 0. 8 can go into 10 one time, which is 8. So we got 2, we added our 0. 8 can go into 20 2 times, which was 16. We put 0.12, and then 20 subtract 16, which is 4, add our last 0 down. 8 times 5 was 40, and 40 subtract 40, which was 0. Then we checked it by doing 1 times 125, which gave us 125 over 1,000, and then 8 times 125, which gave us 1,000. Then, since it was over 1,000, we knew that our 1,000 was all the way at the back of the tens and the hundreds, so it was 0.125.
Good job. Good job. Fabulous. So, there's always a lesson in either getting it right or getting it wrong. And I have teams 1 and 3 come up. Teams 1 and 3 come up. 3 over there, 1 over here. I'm sorry. No, you're the communicator. Okay.
What the heck?
Okay, are we ready? So, team 1, tell us how you weren't able to come up with your answer. And do you see where you possibly may have gone wrong?
Well, first we had thought of since 8. First we had thought that we couldn't go into the thousands, that we can only go into the tens or the hundreds. So we had tried to make that 1/8.
What was step 1, everybody?
You can find a number you can multiply by the bottom.
10, 100, 1,000, or any one followed by 0. So, how could going back to the steps have helped you?
We could have said that we could have gone to that.
There it is. Okay. All right, so continue on.
So we had tried dividing 1/8 times 1/2, which I got us to 1/4, and then we had multiplied that times 25 to get to 100. But then you came over here and you said, so then we erased it and we tried to do something else, but then we couldn't find something else, so then we went back to that, but then I erased it because we couldn't find it.
Okay. All right. So, hold on. There's something good to be learned by even making mistakes. So something so simple as always read the directions. On MCAT, PARC, MESA, any exam that you take, you have to follow the directions. Remember the steps that you're being taught. Always go back to your notes. Always go back to your notes. Okay, team 3, you had a different issue. You got somewhat partial of the answer, but how did you go wrong?
We went wrong with the decimal point.
Okay, and tell me why.
Well, we thought that since it was 1,000, we thought that we should put 1.25, but it should have been 1,000.
Okay, good job. All right, Jabril.
I don't well, not to say anything mean or nothing, but the decimal point is in the right place. The decimal point is in the right place, but it's just like
It's not in the right place at all.
wait, wasn't the one?
They had the correct numbers, but the decimal point is in the wrong place. It should be on the other side of the 1.
Oh, and then the 0 is supposed to go behind it.
Right.
I didn't see that.
Okay. All right. So, let's go on to our problem set. So let's wipe off our whiteboards. And so what I would like for us to do, my lovelies, is I would like for us to do on our problem set. I want us to do problems 1B. So let's circle those. 1C. 1D. D. 1F. 1I. I'm sorry, baby. 2D, 2F, 2I, and 2L. So is there anyone that feels like, so what I want you to do, so what I want you to do is,
I only got these down because I can use my spare time.
so what I want you to do is let's look at 1B. I want you all to do that problem on your whiteboards.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, we're going to do 1B together.
That's easy. Everybody want to do this right.
So in notice in 1B, you're figuring out what you're going to need in order to get to these numbers there. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that. It's up on the board, but it's also on your sheet.
Seven equals 21. Oh, that looks like a 9. We could okay, so put your
Okay. Once you're done, team 4 is ready to go. Team 1, team 3, we're waiting on team 2. Okay. So now that we are ready to move on, we're going to do what we always do. Let's switch.
That is an S. Bet money. Now we
remember using the dollars, the emojis that we've got for our classroom. Let's switch.
I did it at the other way. How many someone do it?
Yeah, they did the upper one. Wait, why they put 7 for the stars 4? But they still got the right answer. It doesn't matter. You should put question mark.
It's running off. Let's switch.
Everybody got it. We got the same answer.
Okay, now let's switch back. Right. Okay. So I'm only going to have one team popcorn out. So I'm going to have team number 1 tell us what the answer was. 7 sevens. Now going back to our objective, remember we said that we would have to get our fraction to 1. Is 7 sevens, does that equal 1? Yes. Okay. So if you did it correctly, it should be 3 times 4 times 7 over 7, because 3 times 7 is 21 and 4 times 7 is 28. Good job. Clear off your boards. I'm going to have you do 1/5. 1/5.
Okay, this would be right here.
And that's actually going to be 2C. So 1/5. So I want you all to figure out the strategies that you're going to need to use in order to be able to solve this. Because remember, we're doing our decimal fraction gotta turn it into a fraction, and then I'm gonna ask you to turn it into a decimal.
Okay.
No, we shouldn't use we shouldn't use 25 because that's gonna be higher. That's 6.
What is that?
She nodded.
That's
You gotta turn it into a decimal. Think about your place value chart. Remember that was all the way in module 1.
Wait, when it was 100 desired, it was behind.
When it was 100, it was 2 zeros.
When it was 100, it was behind the decimal point.
Okay, if you're ready to move on, show me a pyramid. Group 1's ready, Group 4's ready, Group 3's ready, Group 2. So now I want you to switch a different way. I want Group 1 to go to do Group 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1. Let's go, let's switch.
You said you didn't know that, but now you do. What? No, because remember you said you didn't know that? They said 0.02.
Now see that time was supposed to be like that.
Yo, the reason why I got it wrong is because she put her hand.
I told y'all.
Don't say we got y'all got to move stuff.
Okay, let's switch.
That's wrong. This is wrong.
I hate this.
Because when you do tens, it's 0 point that number. It's not 0 point that number.
Okay, time to switch.
Wait, go. It's time to They are correct.
Yeah.
They're correct.
Why they put question marks?
I don't know. I don't know why they pick question marks.
Oh.
Alright, let's switch back to our original group. So the last time I had Group 1 tell me how they got their answer. Now I'd like to hear from Group 2. No, you don't have to come up. You can just sit at your desk and say it. What's the answer?
1/5 times 2 over 2, which is equal to
0.2. Okay. Did everybody get that answer? Who didn't get it? I saw everybody got it. So clearly we have an issue with place value understanding. So we're going to need to revisit that. Because 2/10, if you look at the place value chart, or if you remember your place value chart, the tenths column is right behind your decimal point. So 2/10 is going to be right there. It's not going to be 0.02. 0.02 is in your hundreds. Okay. All right, so let's go. Here is the last one we're going to work on today. 27 over 20ths.
Which one is this?
27 over 20ths.
2F.
2F.
These markers don't work.
Would you think this would be 100 because, and then we should do like a times 4? A times 4? She said
She said it
it could be a mixed number, a mixed fraction. Miss Owens,
Yes.
can it still be a mixed fraction?